I'm Scott Morrison and this is my media pitch. This is going to be my presentation for my first idea. So my location images, I've took pictures near the farm which I live in. First of all, the house. This is going to be the character's house and his mother's death scene. I will begin with an establishing shot of the surrounding of the protagonist's living area, with shots from inside the house presenting the mother and son bond to be strong, with shots of them bonding. It will be later on into the night until the mother was killed. The long road leading to my house. This is the road I'm going to use for the first appearance of the killer. I have an interesting shot in mind in this location where the shot begins with the son driving off in the car, with the camera approaching the killer, raising up to eye level, then panning around to show the killer noticing the house with the light on. With music building tension and a strong performance, this can be a key scene in including fear into the introduction. And a bunch of trees without leaves. This location will be good to use for opening credit shots of the camera panning across the trees and looking up while moving, mixed with a bright moon and atmospheric, non-diegetic music, will serve up the feeling for the rest of the film. I've actually got an example of the shot, which I'm going to show you now. This wasn't done on set. My character design. There's Luke, who's the main protagonist in the introduction. He's 16 years old, he's suspicious, he's cautious, he's got a strong relationship with his mother, who's called Molly, and he's the rest of the film's antagonist, as I'll explain in the film's plot. There's Molly, who's the mother, 40 years old, loving, likeable, dependent, and she's got a strong relationship with her son. And there's a picture of the actors who I want playing the characters. And the possibilities. This introduction is for a film which centres on a serial killer who was affected from an incident at a young age. After finding his mother's mutilated corpse, Luke finds himself mentally affected and wants others to feel his pain and suffering as he looks to kill whoever he can. This can spawn multiple sequels and a franchise such as the Friday the 13th film, which is my main influence. I would want to make the film stand out from other typical slasher flicks, with likeable characters and a unique plot. The film could be produced by Michael Bay and or Eli Roth because of the interest in the horror film genre, such as Friday the 13th, Knock Knock, Last Exorcism, Hitcher, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, etc. For distribution, I would want Paramount Pictures, as they are part of the Hollywood's Big Six, and the film would be suitably distributed to receive worldwide recognition. They have also been involved in distributing Friday the 13th films, as well as My Bloody Valentine, the 1981 version. I would want Platinum Dunes to help produce my film, as they have been involved in the making of some horror film classics, such as Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Nightmare on Elm Street, Hitcher, etc. And the script and storyboard to my idea one is on my blogger, so if you're interested you can return to the blogger and check them out. And this is a presentation on my second idea. This would be a supernatural horror. It would be easy for me to film as I would not show the antagonist, as I believe that the less seen of the villain, the scarier it is, leaving the imagination to the audience to visually picture the antagonist, i.e. in Jaws, where you don't see the shark. My idea for the plot is that a group of friends hear of a haunted barn and go to investigate. The barn turns out to be haunted and they are now trying to survive as they are tormented and picked off one by unknown mysterious forces. I'm going with the same idea with the characters not surviving the introduction, as I want the audience to be informed that whatever is in the barn is seriously dangerous and will kill anyone, as it shown in the introduction. Killing all of the characters makes the audience concerned for the protagonist later in the film. I'll have the group of 3 to 5 friends depending on the availability of the actors, the shoot schedule, with me behind the camera. I may star in it if I'm very limited for actors, but this is a contingency. I use the same location images. The house here, this would be the character's safe zone where they start the film. The familiar setting of a home could bring a sense of safety. The characters spend their time in the living room until they decide to investigate the barn. There's the barn right here. This will be the barn I will use if I continue with this idea. I have proper authorization to use this location as long as it is in a designated time slot. This means I'll have to plan a shooting schedule to fit these guidelines. At night, this setting will work well to create fear in the audience with the abandoned look the barn surrounding area gives off. I'd use the same credits location as I did in idea 1. This area I can use for credits again as I've planned for idea 1. At night, the trees mix with the night sky and glowing stars to create fear, the iconographic leafless trees being intertextually used between films in the horror genre. And a long road. This location I will use as a chase scene, including the monster of the story and the protagonist. Using convincing camera shots in this scene will be very effective in creating a high intensity chase with a lot of panic while never fully showing the monster, as I believe the less seen the villain, the better / scarier. Possibilities. This genre has so many other films like it, not saying my idea 1 is unique either, and I wouldn't want to ruin a new quality film with pointless sequels that never live up to the original, i.e. Paranormal Activity was revolutionary, yet ruined the franchise with pointless sequel after pointless sequel. Maybe I would make a sequel if asked by the film studio, or if the first one does very well at the box office. However, if the sequel doesn't perform well, then I wouldn't recommend this third instalment unless a very solid premise and script had been created. For distribution rights, I would want New Line Cinema to take charge and distribute my film, as they are owned by one of the biggest film companies, Warner Brothers, and they have done other films in the subgenre such as The Conjuring, Final Destination, Annabelle, etc. Financing the film's distribution would be no problem for these giants in the industry, as they are part of the highest grossing company in the film industry. My preferred production company for this idea would be Ghost House Pictures, as their specific subgenre looks to be supernatural horror, with a film catalogue including the likes of Drag Me to Hell, Poltergeist, Evil Dead, etc.
Right, can you look at me and summarise what you just said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd want New Line Cinema to distribute it and Ghost House Pictures to produce it, as they've got a catalogue including the same subgenre of films like supernatural horror, including Drag Me to Hell, Evil Dead, Poltergeist, Conjuring. And I wouldn't want to make a franchise out of it unless solid scripts and premises were made. Same again, script and storyboard to idea 2 is on my blogger, so if you're interested, you can check that out. My target audience. The target audience would be the same for both ideas, as the messages and values within each correspond well with the target audience's lives. Idea 2 teases the idea of teens to turn quick to boredom and put their lives in danger for a chance of entertainment. Idea 1 plays with the idea of what would happen if someone lost their last parent at a young age, and why you should always be cautious when you're unsure of someone's true intentions. Both ideas aim for 15 to 23-year-olds, as all of the characters in idea 2 and the main protagonist in idea 1, making them more relatable and making the audience sympathise with the characters easier. And lastly, my preferred decision. I decided to want to pursue idea 1, as I'll have more fun with the production process with this. However, it'll be more difficult, especially to scare the audience. So if I begin to struggle with my idea, I may have to change to idea 2, which will be easier, and may finish better with the overall scaring the audience.
Summarise that
But
to camera.
I won't leave it too long to change my idea. I want to pursue idea 1, but it'd be more difficult, so I might change to idea 2, but I won't leave it too long. Idea 2 may be scarier, but idea 1 I think will be more unique. That's it, that's my pitch.